Hi, I'm Richard Obbins, owner of TTS Performance over here in England, and we've been manufacturing a supercharger kit for the Harley V-Rod now for some 12-13 years, almost since it's been around. Our latest kit, which is essentially the same for the last 7 years, is an extremely simple kit to fit. Not only is it simple, it's reliable and it's very powerful. So powerful that we actually supply it as a base kit in a restricted form. So this is the V-Rod with the kit on. That's the plenum chamber. We CNC manufacture a new case, a belt guard, which also supports the supercharger. Air filter, supercharger blows air round and through, up into the plenum chamber, which goes down into the two throttle bodies and into the engine. When the air's not being used, it's blown off with a blow-off valve just here. And to keep the supercharger cool, we're now fitting a supercharger oil cooler, which is just here. So if you're good at mechanics, you'll probably fit this kit in 3 to 4 hours. We have to change the injectors, so the throttle bodies have to come out. And here are all the parts, all the main fundamental parts in the kit. Once you've removed the airbox, complete with the Wong stud that stands proud in the middle, you pull the rear cylinder head breather pipe out and leave it attached to the engine. The front breather pipe, which is under here, is replaced with this, with 2 O-rings. That sits into the top of the cylinder head and pushes up into the bottom of the plenum chamber. Very straightforward. The rear breather pipe comes round the back, is connected by pipes which we supply and connectors, comes round and connects into a chamber just here, which is not part of the plenum chamber, it's a breather chamber. Now we can see more of this in these parts here. So this is the base of the plenum chamber. It's fitted in place of the original throttle bodies, original airbox. These 2 holes have fittings put into them. This hole is where the front cylinder head breather pipe goes in, and that just sits like that. We supply an O-ring to go around here, an O-ring to go around here and here, and when you take the original airbox off, you take the fuel rail out and the stock injectors and replace them with the Magneti Marelli IWP 189s that we supply. You put it all back together, this just bolts down, and then with O-rings, which again we supply to keep everything airtight, we then put the plenum lid on, which again is CNC part. As you can see, there's a separate chamber here, so when the 2 halves go together, the breather chamber for the engine is self-contained and does its job quite nicely. So it's pretty straightforward fitting this. You just got to make sure that you keep your wiring harness pushed to the center. There is also an air temperature sensor which comes with the kit. This fits directly onto the stock wiring harness, but we have one little mod to do. We have to cut the outer sleeve of the wiring harness back here and pull out the wires so that they can be extended back into there. It's not an extended harness, but it's moved away from where it was connected into the main harness. So there's no wiring to do, it's just a little bit of cutting of the outer sleeve to make it more adjustable. That's done and dusted, that's all on. The main case, which carries a simple bearing and pulley arrangement out of the middle. There's a seal, a bearing, and a jack shaft which bolts to the end of the crankshaft. Now if we look here, I can show you how it's done. So you remove the original crank bolt and replace it with this one. This one's got a 10mm thread in the end. So you torque that up as normal to the manual. You then have a short spigot which locates on there. This spigot goes through the case. You've got a bearing that sits in the case. That taps through, and then you can locate everything on the end of the crankshaft with your new gasket and run your bolts all the way around. So now you're left with a short spigot that's on the outside of the case, the pulley, which has got a hex drive, fits in, and then that bolt with the washer goes through and tightens into there. So that's how straightforward it is. It's very, very simple to install. There's an oil seal that stops your engine oil coming to the outside, and we normally fit that oil seal after the spigot has been put through, because then you can work the seal round the spigot and into the case and tap the seal home with a hide mallet with a little bit of grease on the outside. So that's pretty straightforward. Now, when it comes to fitting the supercharger, you've got this main case on. You've got the two pulleys. The supercharger sits here. So you've got a belt run that runs round the crankshaft pulley, over the top of this, round the supercharger pulley, and back underneath there and down there. This is your tensioning pulley. So we tension this once it's all assembled. So you'll see this is your outer case, all nicely CNC machined. That fits over the top, and you can see that there's a slot here where you can get a bar in to make the adjustment for your belt tension. Supercharger sits over the top, sits in there. Obviously there's pulley on there. Now the easy way to fit this is to put the belt on the engine first and around the two jockey wheels. So you just fit it round there and leave a loop here, and then when you come to fit this, you just hook the pulley inside the loop and then line up your 5 bolt holes on the case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and pull it up, and once it's all together, then you can adjust the belt and get your tension, and you're one step closer to the final product. This kit is so powerful that we restrict it in its base form. So if you order a base kit, you get a supercharger with an air restrictor in the air intake. This limits the boost to around 6 to 8 psi, depending on your altitude. And that slides in there. And this limits the amount of air without unduly limiting the bottom end and mid-range performance. It just noses over the top end to stop it over boosting. That will give you around 165 horsepower, and that works really well. A lot of guys, especially in Australia, have been pushing the boat out a little bit and wanting more power. So we looked into this, and the easiest way to get the power was to remove the restrictor, give you 10 to 12 psi, which will increase the power up to nearly 200 horsepower. To get the fuel we need, we replaced the fuel pressure regulator with this one, which instead of being a 3 bar is a 5 bar. And not only that, it has a pressure sensitive diaphragm. So we take a pipe from here to a point on the underside of the throttle bodies where you'll see there's a pipe, generally it's blanked off with a little grommet. You take the pipe from there to there, which is only a few inches away, and this keeps the fuel pressure up when the boost pressure is going up, so it compensates for the boost pressure inside the engine. This helps give you enough fuel pressure. In addition to that, because the standard fuel pump is not man enough for this extra horsepower, we put a Walbro 342 fuel pump in. And this baby will give you far more than enough fuel pressure. So that increases the horsepower. It's on your own head. If you blow it, you pay for it. Additional to this, what have I got to tell you? the oil system for the supercharger. Right, the oil system, you've got an oil tank. This sits here. Out of the bottom of the oil tank, you've got a pipe that comes up and feeds the oil filter. The oil filter comes up to the supercharger intake. The pump inside the supercharger draws the oil up and feeds the gearbox with oil. It also pushes oil out of the outlet of the gearbox. This goes through and round to the other side. To the top of the oil cooler. So you see the two pipes, one to the top and one to the bottom. The bottom one goes round and back to the top of the oil tank. So you've got a pipe there, so your banjo goes on there on the top of the oil tank. So it's a very simple route, and on the instructions in the handbook, it will tell you how to bleed the system. Again, it's very simple. There's one thing, a little thing that I've got in my hand here, a one-way valve. We've had some issues with oil getting sucked back overnight from the gearbox because the gearbox runs in a partial vacuum. When you switch off, it tends to suck back, and it sucks back the oil from the outlet of the supercharger. So we put a one-way valve in there, so it points away from the gearbox of the supercharger. So oil goes into the supercharger, out the supercharger, but when you stop, it can't get sucked back in because of the one-way valve. So you can see the little one-way valve down in the bottom there, though. Okay. You can also see here we have a breather on top of the gearbox of the engine, sorry. This little breather helps evacuate the cases to keep the crankcase pressure down, and that too goes up underneath and connects up to one of the brass fittings under the plenum. Again, it's very simple, just a short pipe goes straight under the plenum. The boost pipe goes from the outlet of the supercharger round to the blow-off valves teed off, and then we have a pipe connection into the bottom of the plenum chamber there. It's short, stepped up silicone hose and a couple of stainless clips. The blow-off valve on a supercharger, the supercharger is blowing air whether you want it or not. So when you're on cruise or idle, the blow-off valve should blow off all the time. As soon as you crack the throttle, the vacuum pipe which is connected to it, which we've talked about, that goes underneath the throttle bodies and connects to the grommet underneath the rear throttle body. This will suck the valve open every time you get off the throttle. So the valve is open when you're cruising, it's open when you're on idle. As soon as you get on the gas, it closes and you get your boost to your engine. And that's it. That's the whole job. Hope you like it. It's been around a long time. Nothing comes close to beating it. You've got perfect drivability, perfect road manners, and awesome performance. Cheers. Windings out of the stock cover that you've taken off here, and you have to put them in here. This means that you have to disconnect the wires that go through to the regulator rectifier unit, which is just here. So there's a couple of screws to undo here to get to it, and then you unclip it, pull it out, and then work the grommet, which is pretty tough. Work the grommet out of the original case, and then you can pull the windings out, bolt the windings into here, poke the wires through there with the grommet. When you do this, make sure you put plenty of silicone sealer around the grommet. These are notorious for leaking anyway, so put some additional sealer in it before you reassemble. Put that together, your ignition pickup goes on there, which is all part of the same wiring, and that all feeds it in and through there, and then you're ready to put it on. Sorry about missing that earlier, folks. Okay, so once you're all up and running, or even if you're not up and running, if you have any problems, we're on the end of the phone or end of an email, and I'll do my darndest to get back to you as quickly as possible. Service here is second to none. We love our customers, we love our motorbikes, and we really like horsepower. Okay, so that was the technical bit. Now the fun bit. This is where we start the bike up.